Hi, my name's Adam, and I'm privileged to be speaking with Pearl today.
Hey everybody, it's Pearl Chiarenza again with Women's Successful Living, and we're bringing you another Conversations with Pearl. And today we have our special guest, Adam, who is a founder of Mental Health Warriors. He has been through so much of his life, from being abused by family to being bullied, all through this educational journey, which led him to even attempt suicide. However, thankfully, this was a turning point that he needed. And with the support of one great friend who made Adam realize that his pain and experience could not help others if he decided to change his life, he is now qualified in mental health first aid and currently on his new and more empowering journey to becoming a certified psychologist. Adam, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So tell everybody where you're coming in from.
A rubbish England.
Yeah. And I think you were telling me it's a little gloomy and rainy there right now. Is that correct?
No, it's just starting to warm up. I think we're slowly coming into spring.
Yay, we love this. That's my favorite time of the year is spring. Everything's so
Is it?
new and fresh. It's sort of like life, like finding new and fresh things in our lives. And I know you've had a journey, and so I want to talk about that journey. And for those that are listening, we are going to talk about some things that might trigger you. So if suicide or things like that is something that is a concern for you or might trigger you, may not want to listen to this episode, or also reach out for any help at any time as well. So I'm so excited to have you here again with us today. And Adam, tell us a little bit about your journey. I know that, like we introduced you, you've been through a lot in your life, from abuse by your family and being bullied. So tell us a little bit about that, and I'll let you start.
Yeah, well, obviously it all started when I was brought up on a lie by my own parents, because I was basically brought up to believe that everything was my fault, or the abuse was my fault. Me being put on child protection was my fault, and that really got to me, because I thought, hang on a minute, that's clearly normal behaviour. It's clearly always the child's fault, and it just all came to me, where obviously I was hit by my own father because I couldn't ride a bike proper, and that was at 3 years old. That's due to dyspraxia, which obviously it affects your coordination, and then obviously, which I didn't learn to ride until I was 9. But then I just kept going and going and going. I tried finding my identity. No, couldn't. So I was basically brought up silent and people pleasing. I was just trying to fit in. And part of me, even today, is still trying to fit into the right community. And it's just been a hell of a struggle.
It's important that we talk about too, like the childhood trauma. A lot of, and we talk about that here often. When we are raising our kids or when we're little, that's the pivotal time, that 0 to 7 years age. And a lot of people tend to think, oh, that means nothing. But it's so true. Like that 0 to 7 years, like you're saying how old you were trying to ride a bike, that's a young age, right? And so the things, those that are listening, if you're a parent or a caregiver or anybody in that realm around children, we have to remember that what we say, it does affect us. I mean, you talk about people pleasing. I can tell you at a young age, around my third or fourth grade, I was watching my brother and sister. So I was sort of like that, caregiver slash, that led to becoming a people pleaser, because I thought, if I didn't do for somebody, I wasn't, a good person, those kind of things. And that can lead to so many other things. And we're going to talk in a few minutes about the mental health aspect of that. And so I know you were mentioning, the abuse you had. And so it led you to being taken away from your family. Is that what I understood?
No, no, I was never taken away, even though what I know about the system now over here, it's wrong. I still, even today, wish that I was taken. I do, but I wasn't. And it's just how I was never taken. I don't know. I don't know, because social workers, or as people call them, CPS workers, they saw marks on me, the school saw marks on me, and the doctors seen marks on me, and Nothing, nothing.
So that again, nobody like see when they see the signs, nobody that caring and stepping out and being there, because as a child, especially we want to believe our adults, right? They're supposed to be taking
Mm,
care of us. They're especially when they're our parents, right? They're supposed to be the ones that are protector, right?
yeah.
And then led to the fact that when that's not the case, and you went to the right resources. So thinking about that time, and Adam, if we can just indulge, and if it's not a good subject, just let me know. But thinking about that time, if you were to give advice to somebody that's listening to us today that sees that child, and maybe they think there's something there, but they're not quite sure, right? What would you say to that person, that maybe the teacher at school, or the caregiver, or somebody that just, or maybe it's even the mother of a friend, right? Like their friend comes over. What advice would you give? What would you suggest that they try to do to step in, or maybe
Um,
say something?
ask if they're okay, and if they're given single word answers or they're staying silent, ask again. Actually start a conversation with them, even if it means pulling them aside. And if they can't find the words, because I know there's been many times when I've been in a mental health crisis, I knew what to say, but I just didn't know how to say it. And if that comes a case with many people, get them to show you what's up. If it means drawing, if it means singing, if it means painting, whatever, just get them to show, because there's always something going on.
I love how you thought about other ideas of getting them to share. Oftentimes speaking is not something that form of communication is not something that some people do well, or may feel comfortable doing so. But like you said, whether it's drawing something like, draw me a picture of how you're feeling today, or, sing, what's your favorite song when you feel sad or when you feel happy, like
Yeah.
trying to get them to do things and respond that way. That's a great, great, great advice. So Adam, tell us, like, so, this happened to a young age. What progressed from there? Like how, you go through middle school and high school. How did that the rest of the family life go for you?
It was just hard because I even still remember today that it was my 12th birthday and I was actually made, with the birthday money I was given, I was made to walk my little brother and his friends to our local McDonald's and buy them, using my birthday money, buy them dinner. So I wasn't allowed that. I wanted all these things, which I just never got. So in a way, I was actually isolated, not just from everyone, but from myself. I wanted to be on the school football team. That was stopped. I wanted to go and do cooking. That was stopped. And so, yeah, but I brought myself up from the age of 10, where I was, if I didn't cook for myself, I would have starved.
So you had to become this adult at a very, very
Yeah,
young age. Yeah. And that's what's hard. That's where that people pleaser, that's the avoider can come up as well, because you want to avoid difficult situations and so forth. So at what point that, you know, when did you leave home, and then what happened from there? Like, how did you make that breakaway?
well, obviously I did have friends at the time, and this was when I was 13 years old. And obviously I was still masking, still going through the abuse, and I was kicked out of the house. And this was near Christmas. And I wasn't out long. I wasn't. But obviously, but before all that, my mum did actually get me drinking alcohol from the age of 11, because, and she brainwashed me into believing that was the answer to absolutely everything, all emotions, all situations. And I figured out now it's not. And after that was drinking every day for over 20 years. And now obviously I'm almost at 70 days where I've not had a drop, because that's me changing me. But obviously I came back. Obviously, I believed her lies, and then came to me 17th. I was kicked out again, and I literally had to bring myself up. I spent a couple of, and this again near Christmas, and I literally slept on a cold, snowy floor for a couple of days, and and then obviously I was freezing, I was hungry, I was thirsty, and then she bribed me. She texted me saying, "Come home, I've got something to tell you." So because I was gagging for something to drink and something to eat, I went back, and there was a crate of beer waiting for me. And again, I believed her lies, which I'm a fool for. And and then things just escalated from there. But then I left home at 18, a week after my 18th birthday, and that's me never gone back.
And I mean, we trust our adults, we trust our parents, right? We trust that they
Yeah,
will be the ones to be there to step up and take care of us. And so trusting that, she's saying drink this, it's going to help you feel better. We're children, right? We think, okay,
yeah,
mom knows best, right? And so so that have that, and then also I can imagine at 13 and then again at 17 being told to leave, with nowhere to go and nothing to support you, right? Yeah. So what did you do from there, Adam? Like how did you step into that support for yourself? Like, how did you step in and say, I have to do something? I know, you mentioned your friend helped you as well. So take us down that journey, the next part of the story.
yeah. Obviously, this was a week after my 18th. I was told to leave and hand over the key this time because obviously this was when I was with my partner, which obviously I'm still with her now, and and obviously I was kicked out because obviously my partner was on crutches at that point, and my mum was basically saying, and she was struggling to walk as well. So she was told if she's to stay overnight, she must keep the crutches downstairs. I'm like, no, no, it doesn't work like that. If she needs them, she needs them. And then it was just a big argument, and she said, right, hand over the key and get out. So that's what I did. I packed my things, and I was walking streets for a few hours. And this was late at night, and I was on on the phone to my partner, texting her and saying, "I ain't going anywhere to go. I've left completely. I'm gone." And, and I even still remember today where my partner had an argument with her parents because she was basically saying, "If he doesn't stay here, I'm going on the streets with him." And even today, I don't have a response for that. I don't. I don't have a thank you. I don't have anything because it just shows how much she means to me. And and obviously, I did go back. Obviously, her parents have hated me since day one, which, to be honest, I don't care about. And that's when my life actually began.
To have somebody finally fight for you, right? That had to feel like amazing to have
Yeah,
somebody to be like, I'm going to stand up with you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to lean into you. I'm going to, help you along this journey.
yeah,
And that's so powerful. So tell us what led to finding mental health warriors.
yeah. I was at rock bottom at this point, and my late great friend Philip Chang, he sadly passed away a couple of years ago, and he actually contacted me. Like I've never met him in person, but he's always been there for me and my family and my kids and stuff like that. And he contacted me saying, "Adam, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm struggling, Phil. I really am, and I don't know what to do anymore." And he like, "But have you got great potential, and I see you actually helping people." And at this point, I was a mental health first aider, and that was all I was. And and he went, "You need to create like a page or something like that, and I can help you if you want." I'm like, "Okay, what have you got in mind?" And he mentioned about warriors, and I'm like, "Right, okay." And At this point, I was just going along with what he was saying. And he said, call it the mental health warriors. I'm like, right, okay, then I'll do that. So I created the page and I had this mindset. It was only going to be a temporary thing. It weren't going to be long term. And so then I created it. And he then obviously saying, right, I'm going to be here. And if you need anything, drop me a text, drop me a call, and I'll do what I can. I'm like, right, okay then. So I started inviting all my friends, Facebook friends on it. It started going up. Some was leaving, some was coming, some was leaving. I'm like, right, this ain't working. And this was after about a week or so. So I literally was ready to click delete, but my partner talked me out of it. And she's like, give it a chance, give it a chance. So I'm like, right, okay then. And here it is almost 4 years later.
That's so amazing. Like people, we find things in our story of a way to pay for it and help others, right? It's so
Yeah.
powerful when we can do that. And it's so important that to remember that everybody has a story, right? We all have a story. We have to pay for the story. We have to share the story because somebody's going to learn from that journey, right? And somebody's going to be able to learn to how to how to maybe how to respond to something that comes up because of what you're doing. And so now you're on your journey to become a certified psychologist. How's that going?
It's a challenge. It's a really challenge. But I'm just obviously I recently completed and paid off my advanced social psychology course. So now I've passed all that. So now I'm just waiting for the certification to arrive, and then I'm just gonna look at next steps.
Awesome. So I'm just if somebody wants to reach out to you and wants to talk to you about your story and your journey, what's the best way they can do that?
They can contact me anywhere. I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Twitter. I've got an email address which is mhwarrior99 at gmail.com. And I'm just absolutely everywhere.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad we got to have you on the show today. And before we go, though, I want to do our little cards. So we have our cards that we do. And so we're going to shuffle the cards. And Adam, you're going to tell me when to stop shuffling and we're going to read the card together. So tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. So your card says, where will I go from here? So where are you going from here, Adam?
That's a good question. I'm just gonna just continue to do what I love. That is help people and just continue to grow not only in myself but and my message, but grow in actually building this community.
Yes. That's amazing. And communities are so, so important. I have a community, it's called the Shiro League community. And, in that community, we meet Sundays, 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern time. And it's for a community of women where we get together about self-care. We talk about our triumph, our challenges. We do some learning on different self-development things. And so it's so rewarding to have a community, but it's also so supportive to have a community. And I'm glad you're creating that because sometimes we have to create our own thing to help us, not just personally, but to also pay it forward. And I love that you're doing that for us, Adam, and for those out there. And we'll put everything in the show notes so everybody can find you and connect with you. And I just want to remind everybody that as you come into this world, you are an amazing oyster. You're a little rough on the outside, but as you go through those challenges on the inside, you do find your inner pearl to greatness. And I hope you go out and find your inner pearl today. Thanks for listening.